Ocean,
Yeah.
the Mako may have been a son of a bitch to drive, but it had
So dumb.
it.
Such
It
basic
was still
controls.
a a piece of amazing machinery. I didn't even know that it had two fucking weapons on it. I only thought there was the one, and then I found out in another
Oh.
playthrough that there's two. I'm like, oh, this is a game changer. And also, I run over people, so that's another benefit of having the Mako. I'm worried
Oh yeah.
why Casey
Casey
hasn't.
Hudson, yeah.
Ooh, what's the news about
Did you
that?
not hear about that?
No.
Casey Hudson and so he was the creative director, am I right? At BioWare and someone else, Mark something was it? I can't remember. Yeah, Mark Dara, there it is. Left, and I think he was big on the like writing the stories and everything. So
Uh,
they both just left BioWare, which is certainly concerning.
that
That's a
is
lot of
very
talent
concerning.
to lose. Yeah, it's a lot of talent to lose. That yeah, I mean, Casey Hudson, if I'm correct, had left before, but then was brought back. Um, yeah, I don't know. Look, they've that they left. But my understanding is they left. It's not like they were fired
Oh,
or anything. Um,
Link.
and so far it seems to be pretty civil. Like the press releases about it don't definitely don't speak of drama or anything. But I mean, who knows? Like with Anthem and everything, like yeah, I mean, who knows? Also, like how
Whoa.
an interesting thing is, I mean, obviously we know that the remake's being farmed out. Like that's not BioWare doing the remasters. Okay, so they're not doing that. But Anthem 2.0 is in the works. So BioWare, from my understanding, are practically rebuilding Anthem from the ground up. They're not giving up on it, at least so far we know.
Yeah, that we
So
know.
that's good. Yeah, so that's going to be like a year of hectic development, right? Like that's a year of big development. Then we've got we know Dragon Age 4 is in the works. 5, no, 4.
No, four.
4, yeah. Works. 4, yeah. Dragon sorry, thank you. Dragon Age 4 is in the works. That's obviously a massive undertaking that we know they were working on Dragon Age 4. It was called Project the Ocean, do you know the name? I can't remember off the top of my head. There was a name for it. And basically they were a couple of years, I think, into development on that, and they ended up scrapping everything.
Oof, that is big oof.
It's, yeah, big oof. Like I think Dragon Age 4 is pretty much going back to the beginning.
Back to the drawing board.
Um,
That's a major yikes.
yeah. So that and that was I think from my understanding, if I remember correctly, though, that was maybe a year or two ago they went back to the drawing board on that. So I mean that could be coming along, but we know they poured everything they had into Anthem. Like I don't know how far along Dragon Age 4 could realistically be at this point.
That is
Um,
true.
so I don't know. I think it's going to be a while until we actually see anything about that. Then you got to think, okay, they're going to be, also, finishing Anthem 2.0. And then they're gonna have to be maintaining that. That's a live service, so they're gonna have to be putting resources into creating new content for that, and keeping that going. Um, they're gonna then be doing Dragon Age 4 at the same time. When can we honestly expect to see a new Mass Effect game? 2025, 2026? Like
Uh,
realistically, depending on the
realistically,
scale.
that is true,
Yeah,
depending on
like
the scale.
I, yeah. So I think they've done a bit of a Bethesda here with like obviously they've had some you know uh they've had Casey Hudson and stuff leave and like when Bethesda was doing Fallout 76, which was basically a product they knew was going to be crap, and was a live service, a complete departure from everything they've done before.
Which is
And they did
bleh.
yeah. Yeah, so at that press that was E3, I wanna say 2018. They did the Skyrim sorry, the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement. No game, no nothing, like, it was less than what we just saw on this little teaser here
Yeah.
for Mass Effect. It really didn't give away anything at all. And, obviously, we're not gonna see, uh, another Elder Scrolls game for at least 3 years. I reckon, realistically, I don't see us playing Elder Scrolls 6 until uh, maybe late 2023. It
That's
could be
what
later because
I would
yeah,
agree with
I
that.
mean, I don't know because we haven't even seen Starfield yet, and they're gonna need 3 or 4 years to make that game at least. Microsoft will get Bethesda going with ES6. I imagine they're gonna give them a kick up the bum to get it done, yeah, because that Microsoft wants that sweet, sweet Elder Scrolls cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know that property is a winner, and they probably want it to be an Xbox exclusive, Xbox PC exclusive.
That's just nuts.
Mm.
So Casey
So yeah,
Hudson said in his
yeah,
note that this is coming from the link that Ocean posted a while ago in
oh yeah,
chat.
yeah,
Mass Effect and Dragon Age leave BioWare. Casey Hudson
right,
and Mark Duron announces their retirement.
right, yeah,
And I mean, Casey Hudson apparently said that in his note after nearly 20 years with BioWare, he has made the
yeah.
decision to retire from the studio and make way for the next generation of studio leaders.
I think I may have read the same article. Yeah,
From Polygon.
yeah. So it doesn't say anything. Yeah, like it's basically like, oh yeah, I'm choosing to move on. It's I
Yeah,
want more creative challenges and stuff. So it doesn't say anything awful. He's clearly not burning any bridges.
no,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and that is disappointing because he was obviously a huge part of the Mass Effect, well, of Mass Effect. It's Mass Effect's DNA has Casey Hudson all over it.
oh yeah, definitely. And the fact
Yeah.
that that's now being ripped out,
Mm,
what can we expect? I mean, yeah, this teaser looks fucking phenomenal, but what can we expect?
yeah.
There's another thing that I wanted to
So
bring up.
I don't know if they've just gone big. I mean, obviously they were planning to do this, and who knows how long they've known that Casey Hudson and Mark were going as well. Like,
That
but
is
I don't know. It
true.
does seem like it does feel like a bit of like what Bethesda did, before they announced 76, where just give a bunch of non-committal teaser trailers and stuff. I mean, to be fair, the Dragon Age uh announcement that was longer and had more stuff in it. So that's not nothing.
No,
That's definitely not nothing. But
but
I mean, and it would surprise me if that's still like if that's on the way for a couple of years from now, maybe. But and so it makes sense to start ramping up the hype maybe for a Dragon Age game. But for
maybe
Mass Effect, I really think we're at least, oh god.
they
Honestly, we'd have to be at least 4 years off.
well
Probably more.
here's
Probably
the
more.
here's the thing. Dragon Age may be in the works, okay, and we got Mass Effect
Oh,
Andromeda,
it is. Yeah.
but
Mm.
with the way they've teased this,
Mm.
are they really going to make everybody wait years for a new Mass
2025
Effect?
latest. I don't know. I mean, 2025. Look, 2025 might be realistic depending on what they're trying to do. And you got to remember, it's a limited team. They're still doing yeah, sorry, Ocean said 2025 at the latest.
Yeah,
They're still doing Anthem 2.0. They're still doing the complete rebuild of Anthem. That's not expected to be done until probably late next year, I think. And that's going to require a lot of work. Then you've got Dragon Age 4. So let's say half the teams on each project. I don't know. No one's working on Mass Effect at the moment, maybe. So then
that's the thing. We don't know.
it does go back to what I was saying before though, because you got to remember they did get. I mean, maybe Google this to make sure I'm right,
All right.
but they did get the time difference between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 was like 18 months. Like it wasn't long.
Well, let me look up Mass Effect 2's release date.
I swear it wasn't that long.
January 26th of 2010. And I know Mass Effect 3 came out not
2012.
not that long after because I got it before I left Pensacola.
I'm pretty sure it was mid 2012. Maybe it was 2
March
years.
2012. So from
Oh,
January,
so much.
so March 6th, 2012. So 2 years.
It's under 2 years, right?
No, it's more than 2 years because Mass Effect 2 came out in January 26th of 2010.
Oh, okay. So a little over 2 years.
A little more than 2 years. So 2 years, January,
Yeah.
February, March, 2
So, I mean,
months,
that's,
and
like-
chunk. No, not even 2 months. A little more than a month. So a year and 2 years and
Yeah.
a little more than a month. Chump change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, basically 2 years. Like, so you could, they could get a quick turnaround on a game that had a more narrow focus, that wasn't, some huge open world thing. And the thing is, Mass Effect with an open world, I don't know how many more people that brings in.
I don't know.
I mean, there is a huge Mass Effect fan base. So if they do decide to do a more focused game, then yeah, I could see end of 2024. I mean, again, the thing is, Dragon Age 4 is not going to be, is going to be, sorry, a big open world game.
Oh,
Like,
by far.
Inquisition it was a huge success. It was generally, well, I mean, the game was, game of the year. It was very well received.
Oh, yeah.
So that people seem to like that in the Dragon Age, which, I mean, and that's going to be interesting.
Can they carry that success from Inquisition to Dragon Age 4?
Oh, exactly. Well, I think we know that I'd say there's no doubt that they do that.
Right.
It obviously opened up the game to a wider, audience and everything. People love it. Like, there's a lot of people who love Dragon Age Inquisition could never go back to playing Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2, where the opposite isn't correct. The people who loved Origins and stuff, while they may not love what Inquisition had, they still generally, I think, enjoyed the game. No one's boycotting it over it being an open world.
No.
I know I don't love the open world stuff. I'll still definitely play the next Dragon Age game.
Right.
Like, without a doubt. So, but then you've got Andromeda, which was a complete flop. Even though it was more the characters and some of the early buggy stuff.
Yeah, the characters,
but,
and I think the story. I think the small team that worked on it.
The story wasn't,
bit off more than they could chew.
100%. And again, the story was just, I mean, look, the thing was, I'm fairly confident saying this, if Andromeda was not a Mass Effect game, right? If they just, sold that as a completely different, because the thing is, like, it really isn't related to the Mass Effect universe, other than the fact it takes place in it. But the thing is, it's all in a completely different galaxy. They just branded that as a completely separate game without the Mass Effect title and everything.
Be perfectly
People,
fine.
I think, would have liked it. I think people would have said, this is a good game. It's a lot of fun, I think people really would have enjoyed it. But people had just come off Mass Effect 3. They were itching for that fantastic storytelling, for that magnificent world that everyone had gotten so immersed in. And then they kind of took everyone out of that world and put in some really bad characters. And I mean, look, don't get me wrong, there were some good characters in there still, like,
But it needed more work.
Romance the Doctor was, oh, it certainly did. Well, the problem with the development of Mass Effect Andromeda was they were trying to do this big, like, procedurally generated universe thing. Like, they had these huge plans, right?
Oh, yeah.
And basically, it all went to shit because big part of that is BioWare being forced to use the Frostbite engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a problem at BioWare. It was a huge part of the development problems with Anthem. They did struggle with it with Dragon Age 4, but they still managed to pull it off somehow. They weren't getting the support from the actual developers of Frostbite, even though Frostbite is EA's internal engine. Basically, Frostbite was never built to do the stuff that BioWare, like big open world stuff, especially this procedural generation stuff that they were trying to do for Andromeda. So basically, the thing with Andromeda was the whole game was really made in a year because they had to abandon everything that they were doing with it. And
try to chuck something out the door. You can't do that. Especially if you're branding it with the Mass Effect name.
Well, exactly. So look, the fact that they coupled together what they did in the time they did is actually
impressive.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, but and they probably didn't deserve to be shut down because of that. But yeah. Anyway, it was yeah. The thing is, so it wasn't. When you look at it in terms of that, it wasn't a complete failure, and that is a very brief overview of my understanding of what happened.
That's
I
kind
think
of, I think, the
there's more to it.
main overview of
Yeah,
what everybody has. Yeah, but yeah, like you're saying,
yeah,
there's more to it, but that is the main
yeah,
bit.
yeah. That's it. And so anyway, like if they, I just think if they do go back to the classic formula of Mass Effect that has always worked and made it so good, great
Perfection.
storytelling, focused story, none of this open world madness. Again, I think that the open world stuff works a lot better in a fantasy setting than it does in the sci-fi setting.
Or
You know
like
what I'm
in
saying?
Cyberpunk, from what I've seen, from what I can tell,
Hmm.
based off of the
Mm.
small amount of time that I've watched streamers play it, like Artie
Yeah,
and Geef, it seems to
yeah.
work for Cyberpunk. Some
Mm.
games, some stories, it works. Mass Effect is just
But I think
not one of them.
I look at that and I still think while it is sure it's open world, it's more open world in like a Grand Theft Auto style thing. You know what I'm
True.
saying?
True.
It's not trying to be a galaxy spanning story,
That is true.
you know? Which
Okay,
is
yeah.
what
Yeah, I see.
yeah, which is what a good Mass Effect game should be. Then again, with all the relays destroyed, maybe we are going to see a much smaller story.
Maybe that, or
Refugees on Earth and stuff. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
yeah. Well, I mean, okay,
Mm.
so on that point, because there is a bit in the destroyed ending, if people have the extended cut, that is,
Yeah,
that you'll see this because I
it's a
think
free DLC. I think everyone should.
I couldn't remember if I can't remember if it was or wasn't.
Oh, yeah, it was free. Yeah.
It was okay. Shit, where where is it? That's them dying.
Mm.
I rewind too far. I
We were looking at all the gates exploding or something.
did. No, I'm looking for something else. There it is. There it is. Okay. So kill that. By the way, like 2 songs ago,
Yeah.
not going to lie, there was a backdrop for the copyright free song that I was playing from Mass Effect 3, one of the Mass
Oh
Effect
no.
3 like little screenshot things. It was like,
Uh,
oh my god, this is too good.
I love it.
All right, play from here.
Imagine what we can achieve now that they are defeated.
So this is
It will take
after,
time.
and this is the Citadel, still above
We can
Earth.
rebuild everything.
Oh yeah, so the Citadel wasn't destroyed.
Not
I mean, it was pretty
completely.
fucked up.
Yeah, it got fucked up. But look,
Our homes
in
have
London, remember what was in London?
It was the beam that goes to the Citadel, right?
Bet you that's the same damn thing.
I reckon it's still there.
And they've just
Interesting.
built around it and adapted the Reaper technology to service them and figure out some way to, like, unless
Yeah,
into
because
the
I guess they don't really have the technology. Like, it was the Reapers that moved the Citadel to Earth. I don't think
uh-huh.
anyone else. So we obviously, like, the council races probably don't have the technology to move the Citadel. I don't know.
I would assume so. And also on top of that,
So I
what I'm
guess it just lives above Earth now.
and here's another thing that I'm thinking, because for the most part, we have always known that any piece of Reaper technology somehow, some way, um, emanates now. Yeah, emanates now. Puts out some small portion of the indoctrination psychic wave. I am wondering if with the destroyed ending that wiped that out of existence and somehow everybody was able to figure out a way to make that beam work again, but without the worry of being indoctrinated.
Right. Well, I mean that beam. But you're right. So yeah, anyone who messes around with Reaper tech generally ends up getting indoctrinated. So if you spend amount, we also saw that with like the orbs in the there's a DLC for
The Leviathan.
Leviathan. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Leviathan DLC, there's the orbs, which people go near and they start getting. It's a different kind of indoctrination. It's the original species that originally created the Reapers, but they
Yeah.
did have a sort of telepathic indoctrination ability, which obviously is the foundation for what the Reapers have and do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so yes, and you look at like the Elusive Man and everything; they're all working with Reaper tech, and Cerberus ends up basically all of Cerberus pretty much ends up indoctrinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously people were working on the Citadel for a very long time, and at least as far as we know, the Citadel wasn't having any effect on people, though perhaps who knows? Like the
Well,
Citadel was Reaper tech basically.
it
Um,
could have been Reaper technology, but maybe they designed it because remember, there's the keepers, and they were basically no
Reapers.
touchy, no, don't touch the keepers, leave them be. Who were
Yeah,
basically the caretakers
yeah,
of the Citadel for the Reapers,
yeah.
because we found this out between Mass Effect 2 and 1 and 2, because we did all that code scanning for that one guy.
Wait, what?
You not remember that mission, that little side mission?
Oh, in the first one where
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at you gotta scan the
The
keepers and
keepers, yeah.
stuff. Right.
And
I do remember doing that, but what I didn't I yeah, I didn't know. But what did we find out from
okay,
that?
so in Mass Effect 2,
Mm,
basically you receive a message from him. Let me see if I can
that
pull
rings a
that
bell.
out. Mass Effect 2 Keeper. Scan the keepers. Mass Effect 1. Corban, a Solarian scientist, has discovered a way to scan the keepers, but the
Yeah.
Citadel authorities do not like people disturbing the insect-like creatures you offered to help.
Okay. There's a section for Mass Effect 2 consequences. I'm sure I'll probably go into it.
Probably. If you didn't kill Corban, offer this to scan for him and complete his assignments. Corban will send you a brief summary of his findings. Unfortunately, he was
Click
unable
on that.
to convince anyone of his to take his discoveries seriously. Here we
There's
go.
yeah,
I
hyperlink
hope
there.
this address still works. I promised. Video. I promised to send you intel on the keepers if I found anything, and this is important. See, those scans you took, it turns out the keepers are bioengineered. And based on my comparison to some of that material from Saren's flagship, Sovereign, they were engineered millions of years ago by the same people who made Sovereign. You may not understand how important this is, but it suggests that the Citadel wasn't really made by the Protheans. It may have been made by something far older, with the Keepers as organic guardians, and what's more, based on my genetic readings, they're supposed to react to something, some signal or something,
Yeah.
about every 50,000 years. You can measure genetic variances. It's a bit like comparing rings on a tree to see the drought year. Whoever did this, well, around the last time the signal went off would be around the time the Protheans disappeared, and it's scheduled to go off sometime around now. If any of the old tech still works, it could have some nasty surprises waiting for us. Just like you want to know. Nobody here on the Citadel will listen to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So yeah, we know that they're obviously part of it all, but in general, you know, people operate on the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to always end up being the seat of galactic power every cycle, from what we understand.
Yeah,
Um, and
because
the
even
thing
Javik
is,
says it
though,
was, but he never got
yeah,
to
yeah,
go to it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we know the Citadel. People are working on the Citadel and everything, without being indoctrinated. So that beam that's going down to London, is that just something on the Citadel
Or
once
could it
it's been
be on the
activated by
ground?
by the Reapers? Yeah. Yeah, or is it Reaper tech? I mean, now technically, the Citadel is Reaper tech,
Well,
but that being like, indoctrination Reaper tech.
that or maybe it's Prothean based.
Eh, doubt it's
Or not
Prothean.
Prothean based, Leviathan. Wrong
Oh,
species.
yeah, well, exactly. I mean, who knows really where exactly it came from, but yeah, no, it's very interesting that the Citadel is probably still sitting above Earth. Um, but yeah, really interesting to see that somehow this next story involves Andromeda, and yeah, so I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, it's entirely possible that somehow on Andromeda, maybe they find the technology. Well, it's either on Andromeda somewhere they find the technology to get back to Earth, or in the 300 or so years that have passed since the ending of Mass Effect 3,
Yeah,
space flight, space, the technology for faster than light travel has massively increased,
that is
which I
true.
guess would make more sense. Yeah, and maybe 300 years later, people from Earth go, "Hey, we could totally just go visit the people in Andromeda and say, hey, you went all this way for nothing. We can get here now anyway."
I'm gonna initiative.